We take you now, ladies and gentlemen, to a Cuban immigrant, an individual who apparently feels as though the streets of America are paved with gold. Here is Razor Ramon.
Ramon. Razor Ramon. I come from the gutter. I know that. I got no education. Who needs it? Look at me. Look at me. Look at the gold. Look at my clothes. I'm a success. I'm coming to the WWF. All I want is what I got coming to me. The world, chico. Everything in it.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the fake Puerto Rican who scars the chicas for life, CY Chung.
And the 8-ball Carl Charles. That was one of his.
What?
Yeah, that was one of his nicknames in WCW. Didn't take off for that much, but hey.
Well, okay. I mean, if you said, okay, I don't know why would that associate with Scott Hall?
I don't know. Because
Alright,
he used to have like a T-shirt that had the 8-ball and stuff on it. I was like, I don't. Oh wait, it makes sense now. Cocaine reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so we're doing an episode on Scott Hall's top 5 matches.
Yeah.
We were going to do this prior anyways. The thing is, we were trying to find ones, top 5 list that didn't contain 4 matches with Shawn Michaels in it.
Yeah. Which we've probably already covered on something to do with Shawn Michaels anyway. So.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. As good as those matches are, you just want to. We look for the top 5 on a variety of websites. Don't want to stick to just one static website. So we were just we'll see what's where, and just go by a particular website's top 5 matches for Scott Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to go through the ones that say top 10 just to go into the top 5 of that. But that's what we do. But I tell you what is really funny. I always thought he was like Spanish or Mediterranean or stuff like that. I'm gonna say Puerto Rican, but Cuban, but whatever. Something along that lines, right?
Yeah.
But then when he went to WCW, it was called Scott Hall. I was like, why did they give me this guy Razor Ramon?
Yeah.
It's just a plain English white boy name.
Yeah, I thought the same. And then after like doing research, I got older. I was like, oh, that makes sense. He's not Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he did fake Puerto Rican machismo so well. He just thought it was actually legit him.
Yeah. Good on him for being able to pull that off.
Yeah. And did he ever drop the accent in WWF, or did he come to WCW and then drop the accent?
He come to WCW, did the accent for a bit, and then WWE threatened to sue because he's in breaching in character, so he dropped the accent. Oh,
so legit, he would have just taken his Razor Ramon right over there, but just as Scott Hall.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 5 matches. So the first match is Scott Hall versus Sting, unset to 1998 on the 15th of March 98, right?
Yeah.
Sting was WCW champion at this point. Scott Hall won the
World War 3. Yeah.
Which is the 3 rings together, and it's about Royal.
Yeah.
But he didn't get his title shot next month because of some shenanigans. I can't remember exactly what it was. Do you remember what it was? What was it?
I can't remember. I found watching at the time, but I can't remember. I think he might have been suspended.
Who, Scott Hall?
Yeah, in real life or something.
I thought there was a WCW storyline that ran over into that, so they skipped his title shot and gave it to him later.
Yeah, it could be, but I think it's one or the other.
Yeah. Anyways, this match went 9 minutes. Yeah. I got a couple of comments, but what do you think?
It. I don't know. It starts off pretty good.
Yes.
And then, to be fair, I actually liked it. The shenanigans, the NWO shenanigans, weren't as bad as other NWO shenanigans that played WCW at the time. Like, I like Dusty Rhodes interference because that was pretty different.
Yeah.
It wasn't like when Hogan had the NWO interfere where like everyone comes down and their cousins and their uncles and stuff come down. It was just him and Dusty.
Yeah.
And Scott sold pretty well.
Well, okay, Scott, right. I find with these matches and Scott Hall in general, he'll sell normal when he wants to, but when he thinks it's appropriate. Well, okay, hold on. He'll sell cartoony when he thinks it's appropriate, right?
Yeah.
And when it's like not appropriate, he'll just sell normally. So he doesn't mind making a bit of a. It's like sometimes he's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have fun and make and jokes around in the ring for my own entertainment and the audiences because they're not overly done to the point where you're thinking he's ruining the match, right? But sometimes he'll just do stuff and you're like, he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So when Sting's striking Hall at the beginning, Hall's like cartoony selling.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny. And also, I mean, this is a line with the Scott Hall character. Sting goes for test of strength, the Mercy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Hall does it, Sting goes for it, and then Hall pokes Sting in the eye, and I was like, you're a joker.
I did like as well, like with his selling, it kind of made Sting look more superhuman, because,
Yeah.
he kind of had to get his thing back from the whole weird winning the title against Hogan thing.
Yes, exactly. So this is like a couple of like months after that.
Yeah. Like
and Hall made Sting look really good.
Yeah.
As to the point where he's supposed to look good. In fact, if this match was the Hogan match instead, I mean, sorry. If you just replaced Scott Hall with Paul Hogan in this match, this is probably how this match should have went at Starrcade. Kind of. Not exactly, but you just want Sting beating up a guy.
Yeah. Exactly, but
So did you notice that? Okay, you know the thing where Sting does in his matches where so they collide in the ring.
Yeah.
Right. The guy takes the bump, then Sting kind of backs into the rope, and then just kind of flops forward and headbutts the person in the groin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was funny because he doesn't. I don't know how many times he does actually that spot quite a lot. But the funny thing about it is referee Mark Curtis, when he's doing the count, he does in the Kung Fu Hall stance. I'm like, what are you doing?
It makes no sense.
Yeah, he's like one leg out, the other leg out. One. I was like, why are you doing it that way? It's kind of normally like a referee.
Yeah, just like a normal person. Like, okay, that's
cool.
But
I did like when Hall, as the count was happening, Hall grabs the referee's leg.
Yeah.
And then Dusty Rhodes, there's slinks in the ring. Literally, they say that in the commentary, but he kind of dances into the ring.
Yeah.
And he gives the bionic elbow, which gets a 2 count. But bionic elbow drop, not the bionic elbow. Sorry. Yeah. So and there's a funny bit. Yeah. Right. So Scott Hall then tries to take advantage and Sting no-sells it. Sting gives Hall an atomic drop. And this is where the oddity happens, right?
Yeah.
I think Hall's meant to like sell the atomic drop by partly turning around.
Yeah.
And Sting's meant to push kick him into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Except that Hall kind of staggers there and looks back a little bit to see where Sting is, right? Because he's going to prepare for the Stinger splash.
Yeah.
I think he goes in the corner a little bit too quickly, and they had to step back out, and then he had to step back forward into the corner. It was an odd one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you get a Stinger splash to Hall's back, and like.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
And there's another bit where the referee, he's distracted by Dusty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stinger's Irish whips Scott Hall into the ref, and then obviously when the ref is dazed and Sting's trying to revive him, they get the brass knucks, but then white brass knucks, which aren't then plastic. What are those things?
I don't know. That's why I confused me. I was like, are they just like, why paint them? Because you can't like kayfabe it by saying, oh, they're painted white, but then why would you paint brass knuckles white? The whole point of him being brass knuckles is because they're brass.
Yeah. If anything, if you got the white plastic ones, they're cheap, right? And you want to fork out for real brass knuckles because it might hurt someone. Fine, just paint them yellow.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
or you know, spray paint them reflective gold or something like that. You know,
yeah.
it just looks like you hit someone with a piece of plastic on top of your, not even your knuckle area, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So Hall gets a 2 count, and then and I like the finish where Sting gets put in the outside of the edge, but then he kind of slips behind and gives Scott Hall the Scorpion Death Drop 1, 2, 3, done. Like you say, this is okay. First of all, Scott Hall is a top tier guy here, yeah.
Yeah.
But it made Sting look like a level above him because of the interference and shenanigans.
Yeah.
So they just kind of set where they are. Though
Yeah.
at some point, I think Scott Hall should have been a world champion there. But he's a viable contender. He knows his role, though. And his role is to make Sting look good. Especially after all the shenanigans. I don't know if this match would have went the same way.
Yeah.
If Hogan didn't decide to beat Sting, but not beat Sting. And then beat Sting and then not beat Sting again.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if the Scott Hall character.
Yeah.
Cause I agree, he's like top tier and all that, but
yeah.
I don't think his character needs a title. Like
No,
the main title anyway.
No. But it would have been nice for him to have one, right? Not necessarily saying that he should have, but the thing is, he was in title contention in nothing. He probably should have been in title contention a bit more, like how they pushed him in WCW. In fact, Razor Ramon surprised me never had a title, which was something. But anyways, he gave a lot more credibility to Sting.
Yeah.
By detracting a little from himself as well. But at this point, it probably was going towards his downward spiral anyway. So I don't think he had the care in the world at that point. But yeah. Nice match, nice entertaining match. That's the best way I could put it because it was fun.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say near falls drama and stuff like that.
I did like like Scott Hall's chokeslam.
Oh yeah, he's got a really good chokeslam. And then he was mocking the giant afterwards as well. Yeah. You know what I'd say as well? It's quite a watchable match actually. It's not too long. It's moving, and I want to say I like the interference a lot, like Bullet Club style interference, right? But it makes sense in this context because Scott Hall is meant to be a level above Sting, and they kind of try to what's it called? To fix Sting after
reposition Sting after
rejuvenate Sting, or however you want to put it. But yes, after after Hogan just tried to
shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, you know, I like Scott Hall. Comes across as the kind of guy who's like, look, I will do things correctly when I think I should. Yeah. Which is better than most people, where they don't want to do anything anyway because they just think it hurts their position.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Scott Hall's one of them guys who's like, I'm going to get paid whatever I get paid, right?
Yeah.
So, if it helps me further along later in the line, or helps this other person to help me later on the line, that's fine.
Yeah. He was all about if we're all doing great. If we all got to do great to get greater things, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Rather than like Hogan, where I've always got to be in top, sort of thing. Yeah.
What I did like about Scott Hall as well is one of those things where he was saying, if it's not the finish, then I'm not doing my finish.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. That's when you watch all these Razor matches, no one's kicked out this outsider's edge.
Nope.
Or like he there's something happens between the point where he is going to pin and after he's done the move to stop it happening. I'm like, that's great stuff actually.
Yeah.
Protects your finish.
Yeah.
Which like most people nowadays, I mean, hey, John Cena's finish is not even a finish anymore, so whatever.
Yeah, it is, but he just has come up against stronger opponents. So.
Well, when he's got to do that 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, but that kind of adds to the match, so
That depends, I guess. Depends on who he's having a match with.
Yeah.
Because then it makes people. So the people that can finish with one AA.
Yeah.
Look worse than the guys who can finish with 2. You know what I mean? But then it makes you like you're not a top tier guy if it takes 1 to finish you.
Yeah, it makes sense because they're not top tier guys.
Yeah, but then here's the other thing, right? I know we're going to come back to the score matches just a second, but here's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
When Brock does an F5,
Yeah.
and someone kicks out,
yeah,
fine. When Brock does 3 F5s and someone kicks out, all right. Then later on, when Brock does 1 F5 and nobody kicks out, it just makes everyone else look not as good as that one person, Roman Reigns, of course, who kicked out 3. But then the other thing is,
Undertaker's
when
kicked
Roman
out
Reigns
3.
kicks out, sorry,
Undertaker's kicked out of 3.
Oh yeah. Oh okay, yeah, but that's okay. There's the 2 of them. We're going on to something else now. Another bit now is where when they're trying to re-put equity back into the F5 by having it like pin Goldberg, pin Samoa Joe just after one, like Braun Strowman, I think Roman Reigns at one point as well, 1 F5 after he kicked out 3, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes 6 to put Roman Reigns down, right? Yeah. And then now I think it takes how many F5s to put one person down? Roughly 1-ish, 1 or 2.
Yeah, it depends who it is, but yeah.
Yeah, you kind of killed your finish, but it's a good looking finish as well, the F5. But okay, back to Scott Hall.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Next match, number 4. Double J, Jeff Jarrett versus Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title, which Razor is the champion.
Yep.
This is at Royal Rumble 1995 on the 22nd of January 95.
Yep.
Now, okay, this is a very sports entertainment style match. Is the best way I could put it. This is my opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is less about what's happening in ring, and more about what the story is being told, coming across in the ring.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put it. Okay, so Double Dre strutting and taunting and anything. When he did a little bit chain wrestling, he gets a bit ahead of Scott Hall. Razor Ramon. Hall is like just selling impatience,
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I tell you what's the funny bit, right? When he gets the advantage and he pulls Double J into the ring post, like crotching him.
Yeah.
He follows up with a second rope reverse bulldog, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because usually he does a second rope where the opponent's a couple of feet from the ring corner.
Yeah.
And Scott Hall will jump and give him a bulldog.
Yeah.
Except Double J, he waited for Double J to turn around, right? And then I'm like, all right, but shouldn't you? If he's facing you, don't you go for a clothesline then? A second rope clothesline or something like that. It's very odd. It's just like, huh? That's not what he usually does, and it's not the other move that you would expect him to do.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Something makes sense.
Yeah. And then, so that was odd, but I mean, it's fine. You don't notice these things. You just after you've seen these matches, you're like, I think that was meant to be that, but for some reason it was something else.
Yeah, you could tell. Look, I wouldn't say it wasn't a botch. It's more of an improvisation.
Yeah.
Because
so
if he turned around,
to
turn around to get the bulldog, it would have looked really weird. Like, why?
Yeah. Because then you turn around again.
Yeah,
I think he kind of doesn't turn around to make sure it's always in position for him to take the butt. But then he realized, maybe he was facing the wrong. He thought, okay, no. Now we're talking about it. I think I got worked out. Double J got pulled into one repost, right?
Yeah.
Then he had his back facing that repost that he thought the bulldog was coming from.
Yeah.
So when it didn't come from there, he turned around to see where it was coming, where Scott Hall was. Then Scott Hall done the bulldog from the turnbuckle adjacent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's probably what it was, maybe.
Yeah, that would make more sense, realistically, yeah.
Because Scott Hall saw him turning around. It's like, you can't turn around twice. It makes no sense.
Yeah, make us both like fools. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was safe. It was fine. It was safe. It wasn't like someone. Okay. Scott Hall gets thrown outside, and the roadie, the other Double J, Jesse
J, yeah.
clips Scott Hall's knee.
Yeah.
And Jeff Jarrett gets a count win at 12 minutes from a clip on the knee. I'm like, but you didn't work the knee?
Yeah, that's what threw me off at first. I was like, then I thought, I don't remember this match going down like this.
Yeah, well, they had quite a bit of matches. I'll tell you what it is, though. Here's the thing. As we said, the rules outside the ring are different to the rules inside the ring.
Yeah,
but in WCW anyways, right? And AEW probably as well. But I'm also going to say the power of the roadie is multiple times the power of Double J and Razor Ramon.
Yeah, most
He crippled
possibly.
the man. He crippled the man just hitting his knee.
Yeah.
And put him out for a while. So that just shows you, by the way, that Rojo Jesse James is more of a threat to anyone than these two guys.
Like, if at this time, if it was a way round where Razor was the bad guy and Jeff Jarrett was good guy, and I call him Scott. Razor took the count out loss.
Yeah,
that would make sense. Like, he's milking it and trying to get out of it because he's a bad guy and he wants to keep the title.
Yeah. But then the rest of this wouldn't make sense because the match didn't finish. Right?
The rest of it wouldn't make no sense.
So Double J taunts Razor to get the match restarted.
Yeah.
Now he's calling him yellow, like you're ring gear.
Yellow,
right?
Yeah.
Yellow belly. You ain't no Chico. He's a chicken. I'm like,
you might as well paint a yellow stripe down your back.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Who cuts a promo in the middle of a match?
Yeah.
Now, The Rock can do fine, right? Whatever, right? But that's what I'm saying. This match finished. He cut a promo to get the match restarted, and it's just really weird.
Yeah.
That's not how. That's what I'm saying. It's a very sports entertainment style match because it feels if they're doing it wrestling style, he wouldn't have been talking for like 2 or 3 minutes or however long he was talking. Felt like a bit.
I get why they did it though.
Yeah. They had to protect Razor.
Yeah. Especially, I think this not long after this he leaves, isn't it, to go to WCW.
WCW 96, so it's another year.
Is it 95? I thought it was 95.
Did he go 95?
I can't remember. I don't know.
I thought the NWO was in 96.
It could be right.
And then, Razor comes back. Okay, this is what I always find weird in match.
Yeah, you're right. 96. Yeah.
So when like, okay, here's the thing with Vince, right? Which then trickles down to the characters that he writes. It seems. Yeah. Vince doesn't like it when people challenge his ego. It seems. Okay. So does actually no. Let's finish the match first, and then we'll get back to this. Otherwise, we'll divert. All right. So then Jarrett works on the legs, figure 4, right? That's his finish. Razor punches his way out of it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, fair enough. Razor goes for a Razor's Edge, and his leg buckles, which I thought was quite. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Jarrett splits out the back and gives a small package for the win. Right. And I was like, fair enough, and fair enough didn't want Razor to tap out for it. Yeah. And Jeff Jarrett didn't have the stroke finish at that point.
No, went to WCW. No, till 97, 98 when he got the stroke. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's a way to go that protects Razor and whatnot. It was. I personally, I don't think I would have made this a top 5 Razor Ramon match. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Those are very, very sports. If you know the difference between wrestling matches and sports entertainment matches, this is definitely a sports entertainment match.
Yeah.
I think it's because also it has that break in the middle.
Yeah.
Like it's a 12-minute match, which not too much happens. Then he gets clipped in the leg, and then you have like a 3 or 4 minute promo by Jeff Jarrett, and then which is very, and it wasn't a great promo either. It's very. It was very like a cliche promo to get the guy back in the ring.
Not even that. Some of it I felt like he confused himself with what he was saying.
Yeah. Because he starts off really weird.
Yeah.
Hey, don't raise my hand. Don't play my music. I'm like, I don't raise my hand to come out here to be a winner. What? So you want to come out here to be a loser? Is that what you're saying?
Like, I kind of got what he was trying to say, but the words he using didn't make sense.
Yeah, if he said, I didn't come out here to win and not take the title, that'd have been different. You need to clarify that last bit.
Yeah, because every winner wants to get their hand raised. So and not till he said a bit like, about holding the titles. Like, okay, but you should have sort of indicated that first before just saying the hand raising and stuff. Because I'm so confused at this point of my life.
Yeah. But he didn't help himself.
No.
So this is what I find with Vince matches, and you probably noticed it when I point it out to you. But when so you got a title or something like that, right?
Yeah.
and someone just insults your ego, right? And you're in a winning position, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They insult your ego. They make you put whatever it is on the line. You go and put it on the line, and then you maybe win or lose, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Personally, even as a heel or a face, if I've got my title shot or I've got my title and someone insults me, that doesn't have the position to, like, not number one contender or anything like that. Like, no, I've got a title shot or I'm defending my title against this other person. You can't jump in line, right?
Yeah.
Just because you insult my ego. But many a time that has happened and then this person has lost. Like Mr. Kennedy, I think, had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Edge insulted his ego and then all of a sudden the match happens. And like, I know Kennedy was injured and he needed to get the thing away from him, but it just seems one of those things where all the time it happens, right? And it's just like, you guys don't ever have to do that. Like, character-wise, it just comes off as stupid.
Not really. Because it's real life, and it is a manly
that's different.
thing. Yeah, I know it's different, but as they sort of want to mimic real life at times, which doesn't really work most of the time, it makes sense that ego challenging thing, because like lots of men have that problem where they want their ego challenged and they'll do stupid things and then realize.
Did you read about how Brock wanted to do a UFC match or something like that, and Vince was like, no, and then Brock says, "I'll tell you what, Vince, if you beat me in a Olympic wrestling match or something like that, if you can get me down for the pin for 3 seconds or something, then I won't go."
Yeah,
and it's like Vince took it, and I'm like, you're an idiot, Vince. Only you, right? First of all, like, how are you gonna beat Brock? Come on, man.
Yeah, but like I said, that's how this is how some men are, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not okay. No, look, it's particular men, fine, right? But if it's every single man, because I believe Triple H challenged Randy Orton for the title, and Randy Orton actually said no, right?
Yeah.
But then he saw it with Vince, right? And then Vince allowed the title match to happen. I'm like, yeah, right. So it just happens too many times in my liking where literally and it's all different characters. It's all okay if it's the same character because it makes sense, right? And it's consistent. But it's just like, if I said to you, "Oh, you're a chicken, give me a title shot because I'm better than you, blah blah blah," right? And then you give me a title shot, and then I go do it to the next guy, and then the next guy, and then the next guy, and then all the same thing happens. You're like, these people they just copy and paste the same guy.
Yeah, but like, it's not just a Vince problem. This happens in wrestling in general. WCW, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact.
Sometimes if it's a fierce rivalry, fine, right? But other times it's just casual. Just I bump into you. Who you think you're talking to? You got that title. I want a title shot, and then you say no because literally it don't make sense, right? And then I say to you, well, my wiener is bigger than your wiener.
Yeah, but how many times has this actually happened? Where they've just bumped into someone.
Not literally what I said. Not literally what I said.
Yeah, I know, but like, it rarely happens when you think about it, Trent.
No, I think it happens a lot more than you think. But that's between I guess it's one of those things where the frequency of how you watch it. When you watch it, I might just be cherry picking the moments that I saw it happening. You might have not seen those things happen, and you might be like, well, it doesn't happen that much, So I guess it's more of those. Yeah, one of those things.
I'd say it happens at least once every year, if that.
Yeah, okay.
And then bring back how many years have you watched wrestling for?
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's probably 20 times. It's 20 times too many. But when you think it only happens once every year, it just seems like a lot more than it is.
Yeah, if you look at it in a vacuum, but when you look at it in longevity of time, it's nothing.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe I should cut it a bit more slack.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, real world implications as well. Sometimes real world happens outside the wrestling storylines, so they have to do certain things. So
but like going back to this match, in this match it makes sense because that's Razor's character, isn't it? He's oozing from machismo and stuff, and
I suppose. Well, it's different if Razor said, "I want to finish the match," right?
But he did. After he got called a chicken and stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Razor's like, I want to finish the match because I'm full of machismo. I don't know. Like, look, it's fine for this match. It's fine for this match. Even though I don't think it's a great match, but this went 18 minutes. I don't know. It could have been shorter.
Yeah, it could have.
If they were going to do this, and 18 minutes, not including the promo in the middle, by the way.
Yeah, like realistically, you could have done all this plus that in half of that time. Because realistically, after Jerry told him to come back in the ring after calling the chicken or whatever, all you really needed was like another 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah. What they could have done, which probably made it a bit more entertaining, was just basically start off with Jarrett. Jarrett comes in the ring. He then as Razor is coming in, Jarrett's like drawing at the ref, and then you get Rhodey hitting Razor in the leg with a pipe or whatever it is they're gonna do. If it's music, it's probably gonna be a guitar, maybe, I don't know, right? But he's attacking before the bell, right? Match is set to happen. He calls Razor a chicken for he not even be able to get into ring to start a match because that's how much trash he is, right?
Yeah.
Then you could do that.
Yeah.
Then you have Razor work from underneath for in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And you could have just done everything there.
I totally agree.
All right. Okay. Now moving on. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam 95. Happened on 27th of August 95. Shawn Michaels, Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. 25-minute match. Okay. All right. I liked it, but I also didn't like it, right? And I'll explain that in a second.
Yeah.
What do you say?
The other one was better. That's what I say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why do you say that?
Actually, you know what?
I don't know.
Oh, no. Hold on. You said the other ladder match was better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant the previous match we spoke about.
No, the other ladder match.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Maybe because last 20 years I've been spoiled with, like, ladder matches and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, this one doesn't really hold anything to me. I'm like, oh, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Monotonous. Not a lot of, like, extreme spots and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I've been conditioned to see someone get put through something every 10 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good, but it's not great. But again, that's probably, because of the involvement of wrestling, it's kind of messed up for me.
Well, okay. I like this match. First of all, it's kind of, I want to say it's not, it's kind of a tame ladder match, but really it's not for the time it was done, because it's like the third ladder match that they had officially broadcast. What I didn't like was Shawn Michaels not selling his leg.
Yeah.
So Razor suplexes Shawn Michaels from the ring apron.
Yeah.
Shawn is inside, gets suplexed to the outside, and hits his calf on the guardrail, right?
Yeah.
On the way down. And I was like, wow. You know what? Yeah, did they mean to do that on purpose or not, right? Because that's an accident, right? And that really could have hurt. Obviously, it meant to be done on purpose, because later on, Razor's like working on Shawn's leg with the ladder.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, fair enough. And Shawn's really selling it. And Razor's being really technical. And then, so like for the first half of the match, it's like, oh, Razor working on Shawn's legs. Yeah?
Yeah.
Except that then afterwards, it's like, Shawn just undersells his leg on a comeback, does a moonsault off the ladder, right, to a standing Razor Ramon, who's slightly not close. I think it's one of two things happened. Razor wasn't close enough, or Shawn Michaels couldn't get the launch from the ladder because it's not too stable, so he had to jump the way he had to jump.
Yeah.
But his head came really close to the floor.
Yeah. It was a scary sort of spot, if I'm honest. Yeah.
And then Shawn follows up with a top rope. Okay, he's got the ladder, right?
Yeah.
And he's got himself on it, and he kind of tips it down, tried to tip it down onto Razor, which then misses. Oh, no, sorry. No, I'm confused now. He had a top rope ladder splash and misses. Sorry.
Yep. And looks stiff as hell.
Yeah. But this is where okay, and then they follow up with a bit where both guys are fighting on top of the ladder, and then they get crotched. And Razor falls out of the ring. Now, at this point, Shawn has completely forgot to sell the leg. He's not even climbing the ladder with any problems done. And I'm like, man, Shawn, you usually know these things. You're usually on point with all these things. And there's something happens later on, which if he started selling the leg, it'd have made a lot more sense because of what does.
Yeah.
But Razor falls outside. He grabs the second ladder, and now you're having 2 ladders in the ring. The first time they've done that as well, yeah?
Yeah.
And he raises Edge, Sean, off the ladder, off a ladder while Sean is climbing. Like, which is, that's quite smart. I think he's done it from the second rope to people that are on the, like someone taunting someone on the outside. I think he did it in WCW as well.
Yeah.
Some dude was, I think it might have been Macho Man, taunting someone on the outside, and then Razor came up behind and gave him the outsider's edge from that position.
But it's funny, speaking about the whole not sending a leg thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because that we'll flash forward to 13 WrestleManias later, WrestleMania 23.
Yeah.
When he's fighting Cena.
Yeah.
And then he gets pissed because Cena doesn't sell the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's like,
right.
you made a big thing about it there, and normally you're the master of detail. You pay attention to these things, but you didn't bother.
Yeah. So Razor climbs one ladder, Sean climbs another ladder, and then you get a super kick. It didn't look great because you can't do the movement, and you can only go so far on those ladders. Yeah, but he does a super kick, and then he jumps to grab the belt and misses.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, but I think that one was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be, but I was just like,
yeah. And
if he did a super kick and then got the belt and won, I thought okay, that would have been cool, but this was kind of a waste of spot.
I don't know if here's the thing. That particular instance, I think they had the backup because they were like, if I jump for the belt and miss it, right, we can continue with this section, which they did.
Yeah.
Where Sean, Razor goes, so Sean flops on the ground, Razor picks him up for Razor's edge, and Sean flips Razor out of the ring.
Yeah.
The reversal. Then he goes for the belt again. Because it's slightly too far behind him, he reaches and he misses. He misses grabbing the belt and he falls on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would have allowed for this if he was sending his leg through the entire thing, because then he could have grabbed it, clutched his leg, and his leg gave out on the climb.
Yeah.
It would have been something else, right?
Yeah.
It would have been like, oh, it made sense. He tried to reach it. He didn't want to strain his leg too much. Didn't want to have to reposition the ladder and climb again or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Except that, no, this boy, he picks up a ladder and throws it down on the floor and throws a fit and starts, I'm like, geez, you need to contain yourself. It wasn't a bad fit, but it's just be like, I'm super frustrated. I missed the spot. But it's like, dude, you can't do that in front of all these people watching you, and you're meant to be the face as well.
Yeah.
So he finally climbs again to get the belt, and then and then Razor takes after he falls on the floor because it's been an arduous battle. Razor comes in, takes the belt from Shawn Michaels, right? And when Shawn Michaels gets up, he hands Shawn Michaels the belt, handshakes, and raises HBK's hand, and then they play HBK's music.
Yeah.
But Shawn has like a mix of cheers and boos.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to transition him, but at the same time, it's like, well, Razor's just so much cooler than you.
Yeah. And everyone knows heel Shawn Michaels was the better Shawn Michaels around this point anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and if heel Shawn Michaels through the fit,
it
would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But it's a fine match. It's just that if you're not going to sell the leg, don't work on the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And I think it would have been better if he... So either they didn't have him hurt his leg, right? Because I don't know if you like fast-paced matches. Fast-paced matches, there's a time and place for fast-paced matches and slow-paced matches.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you like your ladder matches at slow pace, but I don't mind it at the beginning to set up. If they had a reason for working on Sean's leg, and it's set up towards the end, it makes sense. It's just like you either should have sold the leg or not sold the leg, and not had that work done.
Yeah.
Because the fight it was when they were doing stuff, it was okay, right?
Yeah.
There was no problems with that. It's just that I was expecting every so often for Shawn Michaels, like Razor maybe to kick his leg or something like that, and nothing like that happened after the first half of setup, which is like led nowhere. Yeah,
I like my ladder matches. Sorry. Like, if it was a multi-man ladder match, I can understand the working on a certain part, or someone hurts a certain part, and it kind of comes into effect during the match. But when it's just a one-on-one, I personally don't think they should have that. Because like the ladder match itself between two people is grueling as it is, so you don't need to have that extra little thing to.
I think personally they wanted to make it different from their previous ladder match, which
of course
is actually really good.
Yeah.
So they want to work it a different way.
Yeah.
But it was fine when it was fine, and then when you like when you're older and you're like, okay, I never saw this match when it was around this time.
Yeah, neither did I.
So, all right.
Actually, I might wait. It's WrestleMania 10, right?
Sorry.
Which wait, no, that's wait. This is SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember watching the other one because I watched WrestleMania 10. But yeah.
The thing is, so it's like when you're a kid, maybe you don't realize the consistency of selling or not.
Yeah.
But when you're older and you're watching, like, yes, and you know how good these people are because they are consistent later on in their years.
Yeah.
It's just like you're thinking, okay, something's odd here, you know?
Yeah.
But it was the second half makes more sense than the first half.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next match, Bret Hart, champion, WWF champion at this point, versus Razor Ramon, Royal Rumble 93, 24th of January 93. This match went 18 minutes. Oh, by the way, the previous match, I don't know if I know it down, went 25 minutes. And it was
that makes sense.
It wasn't a. So the first half was slower than the second half because they'd working on the leg, yeah. But I think it still went by kind of quick when after they stopped working on the leg. Here, this match 18 minutes, and this match kind of started. The feud started ish where at some point Razor, like Owen was sitting down, Owen Hart sitting down to get and having an interview, and Razor Ramon running clothesline him in front of him. And Owen doesn't move when it's coming. No reaction, nothing. Just takes the hit. Like, what?
That was weird.
Yeah. Like, so if he was looking at the interview and he didn't see Razor at the corner of his eye, fair enough, yeah. But literally, he's like at the angle where he can see it because he has to know when it's coming to take it, right?
Yeah. Or he's that much of a pro that he just couldn't take it and be fine. I don't know.
Yeah. But he's just like, yeah. He's just like, well, all right.
Sure.
You just tunnel vision, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
If, for example, right, and I know Owen's a family man, so they wouldn't really do this. But let's just say, there was a hot chick on the side, right?
Yeah.
And he was like doing his interview, and and then he's like, "What's that?" Right?
Yeah.
Or some sort of distraction. I'm just using a hot chick as an example, right? Then that's fine, right? Because then Razor can blindside him. Even if Razor sent a hot chick over there just to deliberately do that, it just makes more sense. But it's just kind of funny to see a man literally take a clothesline in front from a guy running at him.
Yeah.
And just pretend that he's not there.
And like, you would hear it as well, right? You know, you hear someone running towards you. But, right,
yeah.
Alright, whatever, I guess.
Or he was gonna say he's just Razor teleported, portaled, right?
Yeah.
He was running from one place, right? And then Doctor Strange opened up one of them portals and Razor just popped out in front of them.
Yeah. Weird.
Okay. Anyways, so this match actually is quite funny at the beginning because Bret Hart's giving the kid sunglasses as he does, and Razor throws a toothpick at the kid.
Yeah.
You're here, you're good. So then Bret starts off with strikes.
Yep.
Starts off pretty hot. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You would have thought he'd start off pretty hot because Owen got hurt, but we're just gonna. And the funny thing is that for Bret standards, they start off. Because Bret don't usually start off with strikes, so at least it made sense why he's striking, and not just because he insulted the kid, but you would have thought if someone attacked my brother.
Yeah.
I want to go. Do I go pandering around at the beginning of the match? That's just nitpicking, though. It's not major. But it does start.
Him and Owen were on good terms at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because when before Owen did his heel turn, was it?
Yeah. When Owen kicked his leg out of his leg.
Yeah.
Kick
your leg out of your leg.
Yeah. But and so Bret starts off hot, right, with strikes.
Yeah.
But Razor gets the better of the exchanges, and I was like, this is kind of neat because Bret doesn't usually start like that, like I said before, and his forte is not like that, but Razor's is.
Yeah.
It just kind of sets up how their positioning is in a way.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's stronger than Brett. So Brett's going to have to be smart.
Yeah.
Razor does a high knee in the corner and he misses. And then Brett starts working on the leg.
Yeah.
Now, Brett does this is also one of these weird things where this guy should know better because Brett's way better than this. But he does a figure 4 and he bends the injured knee, so the ankle is creating tension on the uninjured knee.
Yeah.
I don't know why people do this though, because it's really weird. Many a time people have actually done that, by the way. I'm not sure if you noticed it. Where the leg they're working on when they put them in the figure is not the leg that the ankle is creating pressure on the shin. On the right, of the correct leg.
It's probably just a force of habit, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're right. You can't. So I mean, you put in a figure 4, and I've put in a figure 4 before, yeah. So then it'd be like, right, if I'm working on this leg, maybe I should just do like a knee bar.
Yeah. Because
I can't bend that knee correctly to that other leg. It's not the leg I'm working on. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing of just force of habit.
Yeah. So, and this is where Brett's like receiving a little bit. So when Razor gets the ropes, Brett does the count. Brett's like, ref, you're gonna have to untangle me. I can't untangle that. Just to get a couple of more seconds in of the submission. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, he's not healing it up, but at the same time, he's just like, look, I can't. I'm hating on this guy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to break out, but ref, I can't break out. It's not my fault. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But then Brett starts continuing to work on the correct leg that he was working on before.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, okay, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Brett knows which leg is meant to be working. It's just the figure 4 was on the wrong leg. So Razor reverses an Irish whip into like a low sling one.
Yeah.
And Brett hits his ribs into the ring post. And then Razor starts working the torso. And stops sending the leg as well at that point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's too much to think about. Yeah.
And what I like though is like, so Brett was in control for a little bit. Razor hurt him.
Yeah.
With the ring post hurt Brett. And then Razor takes control. And Brett gets enough offense every so often to make it like it's, but Razor's looking good here. He's like dominating.
Yeah.
Right. And commentary even points out Razor has long since recovered from the knee damage. I'm like,
why?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? But at the same time, there's 2 ways to go about it. You pretend you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Or you let the people know something has happened for this other thing that's inconsistent.
Yeah.
And they chose to point it out, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that's something that was Razor's fault because he should be setting it.
But like, if I'm honest, it's gonna sound really bad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure fans back then, would not be as how can I say it?
Savvy.
Yeah, as now, where because you got things like the internet and stuff, and you can rewind stuff and things.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have noticed.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because Razor was proper setting the leg. Like when Brett was like stomping on it and sitting on it and throwing it into the ground and everything like that. There's quite a bit of working on that leg. Anyways, so Razor's doing abdominal stretches and bear hugs, and Brett bites Razor's face to get out of a bear hug. I was like, all right.
Yeah, sure. That's...
And then Brett does a suicide dive. I'm like, right, but do you sell the ribs? Do you sell ribs is the question. Gorilla Monsoon's like, oh, Brett's not feeling the pain in the ribs anymore. And Bobby Heenan's like, oh, he feels all right. And then Gorilla says, well, if he does, then he's been ignoring it, Brain. I'm like, you guys are a pretty good team to help cover for people.
Yeah, but... No.
So Brett's... Okay, here's the... later on, right? Brett is actually still consistent with saying, I'll get to that in a second. There's a really funny bit, though. Peculiar bit, where Brett's striking Razor, and did you notice it where he grabs Razor's hair, right?
Yeah.
After a couple of strikes, but he grabs Scott Hall's turned behind, so he grabs Razor's head, and Razor takes a bump from it. And he grabs his head, didn't even pull it. He grabs his head, because that's how Brett does his punches. He grabbed the head and then, right? So I think Razor thought that punch was coming. He took a bump from it. Well, I'm like, huh? He just someone grabbed your head and you fall over. Yeah. So Brett gets his comeback, which is the atomic drop, backbreaker, second rope clothesline, bulldog, and a Russian leg sweep, right?
Yeah.
Which commentary calls a beautiful neck breaker for some reason, right?
Okay.
But after the Russian leg sweep, Brett then holds his ribs. And I'm like, right? Yeah.
I kind of get it, but it doesn't make sense because
you should have been to be fair, should have been really holding his ribs after. Now, not to crit. Bret Hart's one of my favorite wrestlers, so I'm just pointing out that this later on, I think people note these things more, and the wrestlers take note of it, right? It just might be the era that we're in, but after every single one of these moves, especially after Suicide dive, he should have just grabbed his ribs.
Yeah, right? I'm saying you can't. Well, it's
or taking a stagger, drops in for the backbreaker, and then he's like in all fours, taking a second to breathe before he then does something else.
Take a moment between stuff, carry on.
Yeah. but he does that later. Right? Yeah. So Brett goes for a sharpshooter. I like the breakout. Right, Razor grabs the referee's leg, and then he basically just tilts the referee to tumble on Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when Razor gets up, he hits Brett in the side with where the ribs are, and Brett's just one single hit, and Brett's going down on his knees. I'm like, yes, that's kind of where he should be at this point.
Yeah, of course.
But then Razor puts him on the top rope, right, to do a top back body drop or something like that, right? But Brett rolls, half flips over Razor's back, and I'm like, oh. That should have, and then gives Razor a belly to back suplex. But that bit there, he should have been really grabbing his ribs after that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, in fact, because Razor gains control after this, Brett should have done the move, and then held his ribs for a while until Razor kind of was able to take advantage. Razor gets up first from it because he's hurt less, even though his leg should have been also hurt, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
Razor goes for Razor's Edge, and Brett turns into a backslide for the 2 count.
Yeah.
And at this point, Brett is subtly selling the ribs, grabbing, taking extra time and stuff like that. Like we were saying he should have been before. Yeah. It's just that it's one thing if you completely forget to set it and stop setting it, like Razor did, yeah?
Yeah.
And another thing if for a section, you kind of forget to set it and then come back to sell it,
Yeah.
But he's taking extra effort to do things now, which is good.
Yeah.
And then they basically reverses a sunset flip pin.
Yeah.
Into a sharpshooter.
Yeah, that was
and get
cool.
Submission right away, almost.
Yeah.
I think also as wrestling has evolved, moves have become less powerful. It seems, right?
Diluted. That's the best way of putting it. Yeah.
In kayfabe one, right? Because literally a power driver is still going to be the same power that a normal power driver has if I'd done it in real life, yeah?
You'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't suddenly get debuffed, okay? But in wrestling, people kick out of stuff and whatever, right? This submission used to tap people out in mere seconds, and now, I don't know, people don't like to tap out, it seems.
Yeah, which I don't understand that now all of a sudden. It works for me. It works with certain characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't get it.
Okay, so when Stone Cold was in the sharpshooter and he fainted, right?
Yeah.
Passed out from the pain. That made sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But when Daniel Bryan has the yes lock on Sheamus and Sheamus doesn't and decides to pass out as well, that made no sense.
Wait, did that happen?
Yeah. It was in a 2 out of 3 falls extreme. That was after Bryan got kicked in the face and got pinned after 18 seconds. That was the next review afterwards. So
liking
it was
that
a 2 out
match.
of 3 falls match.
Yeah.
Sheamus decided to pass out rather than tap out, right?
Yeah.
And then Brian being heel, so he got the first fall. No, I think he disqualified himself on the first fall, got that as the second fall, and then he decided, you know what, I'm not going to give Sheamus the rest period. I'm going to slap the submission on him again, right? But it's like, well, if he passed out from the pain, literally just tap out as soon as he's conscious, right? Unless you're going to you put in the submission move to a guy who's KO'd, and that way his hand's going to flop. Except that Sheamus gets to the ropes and like, wait a minute, that makes no sense. If he got to the rope, I mean, if he tapped out the first time because he didn't want that injury, then he could counter it the second time, right? But whatever, right? Okay. I like this match, except for inconsistent selling, but I do think it may be like you're saying, it's it's something about the era of the time, right? Maybe I have to watch more matches around this time for people to be, and then we'll be like, you know what, it's fine. Because that's how people do.
Yeah.
It's just odd watching it now.
Yeah. It is weird, isn't it?
But I like the setup of the match. I like the match as it went along.
Yeah, I like this went along, but
yeah,
like you said, that inconsistent selling sometimes took me out of it. I was like, oh, okay. Sure, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, but I can see why people rate it. Other than that, I can see why the people like these matches, the 2 previous matches we spoke about.
Same.
Okay, the final match, which I think we both agree actually is the best match of Razor Ramon's Queen.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, unified. They're both IC champions, so it's a unified IC champion at WrestleMania 10. 19-minute match. This was just on the 20th of March '94. And I don't know. I have to say to you this, right? I think Shawn Michaels' magnificent '90s mullet almost stole the show for me.
Yeah, that mullet was epic. From what I know, it was great.
And so it was a nice beginning bit where they were doing chain wrestling to an international to a chokeslam.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the beginning of the match, commentary said Diesel had to vacate the premises, right? And I assumed that he had to go to the back.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's not what he does, right? So a couple of minutes later, he clotheslined Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Outside the ring. First of all, ladder match no DQ, right? So. Yeah, but maybe it's no DQ for the people that are in the match itself, except later on during wrestling, people decide to do whatever they decide to do. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the referee then sends these to the back, and I'm like, so does it mean vacate the premises, as in the area of the ring? Because he didn't. He should have just sent it to the back in the first place.
Yeah.
They could have just done like, Diesel company Shawn Michaels out, ref like saying you can't be here, right? And then he's like, all right, Shawn, I'll give you a fist bump, and then I'll be on my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done that, but I think they wanted to heal up Shawn Michaels a bit more and make a Razor, more of give him a bit more sympathy.
Yeah.
Because with Shawn Michaels, his character is a smarmy, the arrogant, egotistical punk, right?
Yeah. That's his
but
thing.
you can't make someone look at it like an underdog from that.
No.
Whereas if you're Diesel and you're big and massive, you could clothesline whoever and make them look kind of like hurt from it.
Yeah, make him like a chomp. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's all good. So Diesel gets sent to the back. Hall. Okay, I know I'm flipping from Razor Ramon to Scott Hall, but he's the same guy.
Yeah, he is. It's just easy
Scott Hall
to say
lifts
one
the floor padding up, and then later goes for Razor's Edge, which Shawn Michaels backdrops Razor out of the ring to the explosive 4. Because when you do something right, the person usually is the person who set up the thing that goes through it.
Yeah. It's a common wrestling trope at this point.
Yeah. But I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I was like, what's he gonna do? Because he pulled up the floor and then he went to do something else, and then they came back to it. I was like, oh, what kind of bump is Razor gonna take onto the floor at that point, right?
Yeah.
But this is the era where you didn't know.
No.
No, I mean, as in, it's not like usually the person who's setting it up takes it, because later on that becomes a trope.
Yeah. This is when wrestling tropes were still sort of new.
Yeah, in the beginning of their infancy, right?
Yeah, because internet wasn't the thing to put this out.
Yeah. So Shawn Michaels does a baseball slide onto the ladder into Razor's midsection.
Yeah.
And he beats up Razor with the ladder. Using he's throwing the ladder at Razor, he's throwing him into the ladder and stuff like that. But he's aiming for where most of the meat is.
Yeah.
You know, your upper back and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, you know what? They're being they're being safe.
Yeah.
Which is good on them. Because there was the ladder match on a pay-per-view before this. It was Brett versus Shawn.
Yeah.
92 for the world title. I haven't watched that match actually.
Neither have I.
But it was like Brett was like they were talking about ladder matches, and Brett was like to Vince, you know, give me Shawn and we'll work a ladder match.
Yeah. So
I think Shawn had an idea of what to do and how to do kind of safely. I think Brett was saying in Stampede Wrestling they've had loads of ladder matches.
Yeah.
So he knew how to do it. But it's like you gotta. It's like nowhere to hit to do the least damage.
Yeah.
Which is good because it looks the way the ladder crashes and the sound it makes it look devastating. Yeah. So Shawn's climbed the ladder, and Razor pulls Shawn's tights down and exposes Shawn's butt. Right.
Yeah.
Shawn kicks him off and does an elbow drop off the ladder. Then he pulls his tights.
Yeah.
off.
While his pants are still down. Yeah. It's a classic moment.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, jeez, Shawn.
Hey, man. To be fair, though, if he did pull up his pants, then did it, I don't know. I think he would have lost the momentum. So
no. But here's the thing: if it was me in the match, right?
Yeah.
So Razor pulls my pants down, right?
Yeah.
Exposes my butt. I just throw I didn't kick him multiple times, but you want to get this guy off, so you just flail kick him multiple times.
Yeah.
Right? Because then it looks like an offensive throw, and also you've been assaulted because basically dudes pulled your pants down, right?
Yeah.
And humiliated you. So you don't throw one kick, you throw multiple kicks. Then you take that split second to pull your pants up, and then you be like, I'm gonna elbow drop this punk, and then do it. Yeah. I'm not saying the way they did it was wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying I would have just tried to pull my tights up as quickly as possible.
Unless he's.
But Shawn Michaels don't care.
Unless he didn't actually know at that point until afterwards when he hit the mat from the elbow. He was like, oh, my pants are down. That's the only thing I can think of that.
That's how it comes across, isn't it? It's like, oh, my pants didn't pull themselves up. What's that about?
It's like, oh, okay. Just carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, great guy.
Yeah. But yeah. Then Shawn splashes Razor off the ladder.
Yeah.
And these spots are like as safe as non-stunt, like as non-dangerous as they look, they are kind of like not super safe either.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like, cause you're still falling quite a distance. It just gets crazier and crazier later on. Yeah. So Shawn splashes Razor off the ladder, and then later on, Razor Irish whips Shawn into the ladder. Well, into the ladder, and catapults Shawn into the ladder as well. And this is on the outside, by the way. And Shawn grabs the ladder and he bumps onto the floor with the ladder falling on top of him on the way down. I'm like, oh yeah. I feel that makes sense.
Yeah.
First of all, because when he got catapulted, right, he hit the ladder, right, and when you're hitting something, you're gonna grab it or whatever, right?
Yeah,
grab at
attempt to grab it.
Yeah. And then falling on the way down, well, he's got to take the bump. The ladder's gonna come with him because it's not attached to anything. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, logical. And it's not done immediately. He's like, oh, geez. Because it was probably, he grabbed it and halfway down he realized, oh no, this is not gonna be good.
Yeah, this ain't gonna be hard. Yeah.
So Razor suplexes Shawn off the ladder, but he falls off it too because the ladder is not stable enough.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, I don't think I don't think it was meant to fall off it, but he stumbled off it. Okay. Then he resets the ladder and he climbs it, and then Shawn Michaels drop kicks the ladder with Razor on it, right?
Yeah.
The ladder doesn't move, yeah, because that's how I think the connection was.
Yeah.
But Razor takes a bump anyway. So
yeah,
like you're telling me
sell it.
well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, are you telling me the momentum transferred from there to there, bypassing like electricity, just bypass the ladder completely? Yeah. Logically speaking, if I know you got to do this thing at that time, but it's one thing if the driver could ladder and the ladder didn't move, and then Razor just kind of tried to tilt it himself, and then he fell.
Yeah,
made more sense because they would have been like, oh, there was enough momentum to start tipping the ladder back and forth, rocking it back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like it's fair to say when you're not in it,
yeah,
like how to correct things.
But it's like a split-second thing, like
so
you just go with the flow, innit?
Well, yeah. But I suppose logically, the other thing is once he started to bump, he just held onto the ladder to drag it with him as he falls. That's the other way he could have went about it.
Yeah.
But no, we're just pointing out things.
Yeah, pointing out little things.
No, it's not major.
It's not major. It doesn't take you out of it or anything. Like
it's
not like
it's just
Sean missed a drop kick completely and Razor sold. Then that would have been weird. I
mean,
yeah.
So then Sean tips the ladder, the unfallen ladder on top of Razor.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny because I think the ladder was meant to drop or whatever, but then Sean just tipped on top of. And it wasn't like I'm going to be an arse and tip on the guy. It was more like, you know what, it's going to land safely on the guy. He can see it coming.
Yeah.
It's going to hit where it's like shoulder, bicep, like, and they're friends anyway. So
yeah,
Sean gives a super kick and he does a very safe pile driver where Razor's head don't even hit the ground.
Yep, not at all.
Yeah, they should have done a better angle, but at the same time, you know.
Yeah, hit it.
Yeah. He squashes Razor with the ladder off the top rope.
Yep.
And then he climbs the ladder, but Razor shoulder barges it.
Yeah.
So then HBK gets crotched on top rope and he gets a leg tangle.
Yeah.
Right? And Razor's climbing to get the rope, get both Intercontinentals. Now, Sean, here's Sean is looking back to see where Razor is, right? Because he knows the spot he's got to do. Not a spot, but he knows what he's supposed to do next. So he's trying to make sure that he's slow enough to untangle his leg, but he needs to reach out to try and stop him. Okay?
Yeah.
But he somehow managed to untangle himself a bit too quickly. Right?
Yeah.
So as he he looks back and sees Razor's hasn't quite got the towels yet. So he reaches like the arm that he's got, right, to untangle his leg. He kind of loops it through.
Yeah.
As he's coming out. So then he can try to he reaches out, but now his arm got caught.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's very smart actually. I don't know if that was meant to be the spot, but if it wasn't, very good on Sean because it's like
good covering, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I think it's meant to untangle just as Razor gets to both belts and be like, I
almost had it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, yeah, nice. Because then it's like in the matches I've had, that practice matches, right? You always go and try to break the pin. So you have to time your moment where you know the 3 count's coming and you just try to get in there
just in time.
Just not get there in time. It happens in most of when you see tag matches and stuff like that as well. It happens a lot in there. Yeah. You just be like, they split second things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So very good match actually. I liked it very much.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was the start of the ladder match in mainstream media craze, but yeah.
Yeah. And then at the same time, it's like the 95 match wasn't as crazy as this.
Yeah, it was more tamed.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I like this. Basically, a stunt ladder matches because they're just really damaging to the body. I mean, this match is fine, right? It doesn't look about they used the ladder well, and both the matches these guys had didn't look like they were going to kill themselves dropping off the ladder or anything like that.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you're like, it's too much, people. It's too much. But you've elevated it so much that you're going to cause your problem later on with other people.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see a flip pile drive off a ladder at some point. And I'm like, I don't. That's probably going to kill someone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's stuck that way now. Sadly, it is. It's not going back now.
It's too far to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, until someone, God forbid, dies in a ladder match.
Yeah. But yeah. No. What do you think of overall the top 5 matches?
They were good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say they're good because character work, what like Razor / Scott Hall does. Even though there's only one Scott Hall match literally on this thing.
Yeah.
You think about it now, but no, they're good. He was a good, as the word they use was a good hand. He did what he had to do. He helped people get over. So yeah, I enjoyed him.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Like the only thing we can say is about the inconsistent selling, right?
Yeah, but
that might be just a product of its time.
Yeah.
I have to say, as far as these matches go, the more memorable matches though, one of the more memorable matches he had is the one against Stone Cold at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be on the list, but then I know why it wasn't on the list.
Yeah,
so.
because it's memorable for the right and wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very entertaining as well. I also thought it might be on the list as well. Yeah. But I can see why people wouldn't, because it's just Scott Hall at this point. It's not making a complete joke of the match, right? But he's just like, I'm just gonna do Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, like he wasn't Scott Hall at this point. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And but he did well.
Yeah. So most of these matches were pretty good. I would say, probably the Jeff Jarrett match I'd rank lower than the other matches because it didn't really do anything for me.
No, like the only thing it did do, I'll say, was it got Jeff over as a heel a bit, I guess.
Yeah. But then, it wasn't like, at least you can say the other matches, there's drama and tension.
Yeah.
Ish. Or or it was fun and silly, right?
Yeah.
But this one was like, where does it slot?
Yeah. Because, like, it got Jeff over for a bit, but then Jeff Jarrett, to me, didn't get to a proper heel until he had that match, I think it's SummerSlam 98 against X-Pac, and he got his hair cut, and then he changed his attitude and stuff. Yeah. He became, like, a misogynistic guy. That's when he became a better heel and started using the stroke. But...
Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah. Overall, you know what? Some good and not some not okay. Specific matches, things are some good and not so good, but that's what we're saying. It's like, yeah.
You know what? Actually, quick thing in regard to this list we used. I'm surprised his match with like Six-Pac wasn't on this because they were
1, 2, 3 Kid. You mean?
Yeah, sorry, 1, 2, 3 Kid. Yeah.
Right. I only say that because he's had multiple matches with 1, 2, 3 Kid. And when you say that, you mean like when he got pinned the first time?
That weird baby diaper match.
Oh my goodness, yes. But I didn't remember him having matches with actual six-pack. That's why I was saying.
No, I didn't, because he was out of the company by the time that happened.
Yeah. Exactly. The previous list had like two Shawn Michaels matches. Two of those Shawn Michaels matches. I think another Intercontinental title match with Shawn Michaels and a tag match with Shawn Michaels. And like, wow. Okay. And then the fifth one of that was a match with Owen Hart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But,
we mixed it up at the same time. It's like, well, maybe you should have checked some of those matches out.
Yeah, because they might have been better, if I'm honest.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So... Well, would you say watch 4 out of these 5 matches?
I'll say watch 4 out of these 5 matches.
Not the Jeff Jarrett one.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, at least we're in line there.
In agreement with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question before we close this up.
Yeah.
Over Scott Hall's career / Razor Ramon, what was your favorite moment of his? Not just in like these matches, but like in general.
Yeah, because I would argue the most standout moment is the end of like when he invaded WCW.
Yeah.
But I will say this, right?
Yeah.
I did enjoy. For me, it's probably all the Razor Ramon promos before his actual debut. And then with his actual debut as well, because the guy just came across like a major star right away. Like,
So cool.
with the music, the way they come out, the way he held himself, I'm like, yeah. Not knowing anything about this guy previously, just come out looking like, yeah, I'm a mean son of a gun. I can do major damage to you, and I'm so cool. You know,
and I'm
that you can't hate
stomachs.
me. Literally, you're meant to hate me, yeah. But I've got so much physical charisma that you can't. That's how it came across.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
What was yours? What would you say is yours?
Like he might have been when he jumped ship to WCW and he was pretending to be Razor Ramon, but he wasn't Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another. It obviously isn't the cattle prod. That bit was stupid.
Yeah.
It might be when him and Kevin Nash was taking mick out of Sid.
Yeah.
And the whole Sid, I got half the brain that you do.
I
think Scott Hall's reaction in that just made me one of my favourite moments. Oh, but I love that guy, man.
Yeah.
Scott Hall was awesome.
Yeah. It's just you know what's actually kind of funny as well?
What?
Because there's loads of instances which character bits, but where they confront Stone Cold, right? And you don't know what's going to happen with the tension in the backstage there, like as far as the segment was concerned.
Yeah.
And they put the NWO comes to Stone Cold, and Stone Cold's like, "What you face me down for?" And they're like, "Oh, no, Stone Cold, we're just here to give you some beer." Scott Hall pulls out the beer, and then Jerry Law's like, "Don't give him a beer." I'm like, you're Sly Diggs, you're a joker.
Ooh.
Yeah. But it got on him for taking them jokes like that. But
exactly.
I did not like last cool Scott Hall. That's just too.
When he was breaking that line between was he really drunk or was he playing drunk?
Yeah. But do you remember the Ric Flair Asylum segment?
When they omitted him and he was walking around in his underwear in the mental institution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you note Scott Hall in the background?
No.
Scott Hall was in the background just for jokes. I don't know why they did it, but Ric Flair, so you got these people running around in their gowns, right?
Yeah.
And then he passes I think Scott Hall's in the background somewhere, but he is there because he's the biggest guy there, right? And everyone else looks normal. And you're like, what? He's there as well.
Oh wow!
Right?
I don't even remember that. Snap.
I know it's one of those blink and you miss it things, but it's just like when you see him, you're like, them jokers.
That's cool. That's surprising.
Yeah, because I think this is after he did the last call Scott Hall, and then he was off TV for an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, dude had his issues, right?
Yeah.
But when he could go, he could go. And Razor Ramon, I felt was a much better character than Scott Hall because he had things to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like the gold chains and that stuff. The look of him. Scott Hall looked cool, but Razor looked cooler.
I don't know. For me, it's the way round. But then...
Oh, really?
It's only because he basically was trying to copy like hip-hop culture at the time when he was Scott Hall. Like, he was coming out with like the bandanas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he just... seemed him and Kevin Nash together. They both seemed like naturally cool, like they weren't putting on anything.
I think one of those things where you're saying is Razor Ramon can work in any era.
I don't know if it worked now, if I'm honest.
With the gold chains and stuff like he's a gangster, like he's a drug dealer.
Yeah, because that's not really a thing no more, innit? So it's like,
it's true actually. Yeah, you're right. Maybe. All right. Oh yeah, I was gonna say maybe the style of Razor Ramon, but then even then you're right.
Yeah.
But then hip hop culture also evolves much quicker though.
Yeah.
And movie culture is timeless, kind of to a degree, depending.
Because the other reason why I don't think Razor Ramon will work now is because
the PG era, right?
More than that, it was a white dude trying to be a Latino dude. People might find it offensive now. So
No. But he did look Latino enough to pull it off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's because literally he just put a tan on and then that's it.
Probably. Probably. But yeah.
Yeah, Razor Ramon. Yeah. Scott Hall. Yeah. All right, let's sign off.
R.I.P.
I'm the man He pushes people into water fountains because they wish to swim. T.Y.
And I am the man who you know who he is, but you don't know why I'm here. Carl Charles. That's also a great thing. Same as his Hall of Fame speech is pretty cool as well. Yeah, so thank you for taking a trip with us down the late great Scott Hall's career. Was you a fan of Mr. Ramon or Mr. Hall? Depends where you fall in his category. Let us know. Let us know your favorite moments of his. What were your favorite matches, segments, all that good stuff. And you could do that by hitting us up on Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel. Yes, and do that, please. Share this with your friends and family. Let them know what this is all about. And until next time, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye, Chico.
Bye.
Bye.
If you asked Razor how he was doing, the standard response was, better than you, Chico. I learned that when I stepped through that curtain, that I could have a relationship as a performer with an audience. And it was a powerful thing to me, whether I was the hated villain or the beloved hero. And that was something that I've always treasured. So thank you to all the wrestling fans here. And all the fans watching around the world.